Welcome. This is Soothing Whispers ASMR. As always, if there are any sounds or words you would like to hear me perform, please leave them below in the comments. Tonight, I thought we could enjoy some more of the delightful fables by Aesop. There are many, many more of them for us to go through. First up is The Mother and the Wolf. Early one morning, a hungry wolf was prowling around a cottage at the edge of a village when he heard a child crying in the house. Then he heard the mother's voice say, "Hush, child, hush. Stop your crying, or I will give you to the wolf." Surprised but delighted at the prospect of so delicious a meal, the wolf settled down under an open window, expecting every moment to have the child handed out to him. But though the little one continued to fret, the wolf waited all day in vain. Then, toward nightfall, he heard the mother's voice again as she sat down near a window to sing and rock her baby to sleep. "There, child, there. The wolf shall not get you. No, no. Daddy is watching, and Daddy will kill him if the wolf should come near." Just then the father came within sight of the home. The wolf was barely able to save himself from the dogs by a clever bit of running. Moral: do not believe everything you hear. Next up, we have The Flies and the Honey. A jar of honey was upset, and the sticky sweetness flowed out on the table. The sweet smell of the honey soon brought a large number of flies buzzing around. They did not wait for an invitation. No, indeed, they settled right down, feet and all, to gorge themselves. The flies were quickly smeared from head to foot with honey. Their wings stuck together. They could not pull their feet out of the sticky mess, and so they died, giving their lives for the sake of a taste of sweetness. Moral: be not greedy for a little passing pleasure. It may destroy you. The Eagle and the Kite. Kite is a common name for a type of bird of prey. An eagle sat high in the branches of a great oak. She seemed very sad and drooping for an eagle. A kite saw her. "Why do you look so woebegone?" asked the kite. "I want to get married," replied the eagle, "and I can't find a mate who can provide for me as I should like." "Take me," said the kite. I am strong, even stronger than you. Do you really think you can provide for me? Asked the eagle eagerly. Why, of course, replied the kite. That would be a very simple matter. I am so strong I can carry away an ostrich in my talons as if it were a feather. The eagle accepted the kite immediately, but after the wedding, when the kite flew away to find something to eat for his bride, all he had when he returned was a tiny mouse. "Is that the ostrich you talked about?" said the eagle in disgust. "To win you I would have said and promised anything," replied the kite. The moral: everything is fair in love. I'm going to have to take issue with that particular moral. It seems to be arguing that deceit is fair and just when in pursuit of love or the romantic. I disagree. I don't think any strong love can be based on deceit of that nature. But, of course, I am not Aesop, and these are not my fables. An eyeglasses case, of course, always a necessity for the four-eyed. The stag, the sheep, and the wolf. One day a stag came to a sheep and asked her to lend him a measure of wheat. The sheep knew the stag for a very swift runner who could easily take himself out of reach were he so inclined. So the sheep asked him if he knew someone who would answer for him. "Yes, yes," answered the stag confidently. "The wolf has promised to be my surety." "The wolf!" exclaimed the sheep indignantly. "Do you think I would trust you on such security? I know the wolf. He takes what he wants and runs off with it without paying. As for you, you can use your legs so well that I should have little chance of collecting the debt if I had to catch you for it. Two wrongs do not make a right." The animals and the plague. Once upon a time a severe plague raged among the animals. Many died, and those who lived were so ill that they cared for neither food nor drink, and dragged themselves about listlessly. No longer could a fat young hen tempt Master Fox to dinner, nor a tender lamb rouse greedy Sir Wolf's appetite. At last the lion decided to call a council. When all the animals were gathered together, he arose and said, "Dear friends, I believe the gods have sent this plague upon us as punishment for our sins. Therefore, the most guilty one of us must be offered in sacrifice. Perhaps we thus may obtain forgiveness and cure for all. I will confess my sins first. I admit that I have been very greedy and have devoured many sheep. They have done me no harm. I have eaten goats and bulls and stags. To tell the truth, I even ate up a shepherd now and then. Now, if I am the most guilty, I am ready to be sacrificed. But I think it best that each one confess his sins as I have done. Then we can decide in all justice who is the most guilty. Your Majesty, said the fox, you are too good. Can it be a crime to eat sheep, such stupid mutton heads? No, no, your Majesty, you have done them a great honor by eating them up. And so far as the shepherds are concerned, we all know they belong to that puny race that pretends to be our master. All the animals applauded the fox loudly. Then, though the tiger, the bear, the wolf, and all the savage beasts recited their most wicked deeds, all were excused and made to appear very saint-like and innocent. It was now the ass's turn to confess. I remember, he said guiltily, that one day as I was passing a field belonging to some priests, I was so tempted by the tender grass and my hunger that I could not resist nibbling a bit of it. I had no right to do it, I admit. A great uproar among the beasts interrupted him. Here was the culprit who had brought misfortune on all of them. What a horrible crime it was to eat grass that belonged to someone else. It was enough to hang anyone for, much less an ass. Immediately they all fell upon him, the wolf in the lead, and soon had made an end to him, sacrificing him to the gods then and there, without the formality of an altar. Moral: the weak are made to suffer the misdeeds of the powerful. It's very true. It reminds me of an article I was reading the other day about illusory pattern perception. One of the things that humans are very good at, and it's because we need it as a survival skill, is the ability to recognize patterns. So if you think about it, one day you hear a rustle in the bush and you see a wolf dart out. The next time you hear a rustle in a bush, you think it might be a predator and you flee, and thus your ancestors survived. And one of the things that can lie behind conspiracy theories are illusory pattern recognition. So humans can be so primed to see patterns that sometimes we see patterns that aren't actually there. Sometimes this illusory pattern recognition is harmless. Other times it can lead people to see patterns and structure their lives around things that aren't real, and that can be a little bit of a problem. Sorry, I did promise to stay away from politics, didn't I? Next time we'll manage. And we have time for just one more. The shepherd and the lion. A shepherd, counting his sheep one day, discovered that a number of them were missing. Much irritated, he very loudly and boastfully declared that he would catch the thief and punish him as he deserved. The shepherd suspected a wolf of the deed, and so set out toward a rocky region among the hills where there were caves infested by wolves. But before starting out, he made a vow to Jupiter that if Jupiter would help him find the thief, he would offer a fat calf as a sacrifice. The shepherd searched a long time without finding any wolves, but just as he was passing near a large cave on the mountainside, a huge lion stalked out, carrying a sheep. In great terror, the shepherd fell on his knees. Alas, O Jupiter, man does not know what he asks. To find the thief, I offered to sacrifice a fat calf. Now I promise you a full-grown bull if you but make the thief go away. Moral: we are often not so eager for what we seek after we have found it. Do not foolishly ask for things that would bring ruin if they were granted. Calm, easy, relax, calm. And with that, I fear we have come to the end of our video. As always, I wish you a wonderful day and a wonderful night. Sweet dreams.